Playoff college basketball is almost here. The Frontier Conference men's and women's tournaments tip off Sunday in Great Falls. So I sat down with Carroll head men's basketball coach Dan Pearson to see how his Fighting Saints are approaching this postseason.
I think the most impressive thing to me about your squad, just talking to the guys throughout the season, the belief was always high. There was times when you guys weren't necessarily winning a lot of games. That changed later in the season. But what does that tell you about the guys on this team that they didn't give up and they continued to believe?
We talked about that last week in the locker room after the game, that for us has been the biggest skill that we've actually had on the collective. Is we walked into a group of guys that temperamentally were really patient. They had probably really quality values that in those more difficult moments, they were able to kind of like still keep their nose in the right direction, stay together. They like each other. I think when you have, especially early challenges in a long season, that you can't take for granted how challenging that is to get to the place where you show up every single day and enjoy working with the same people you work with.
Talking about some of those young guys, Isaiah Crane, 4-time Conference Player of the Week, back-to-back the last 2 weeks of the season. What makes him so good, and is he really learning the Frontier Conference?
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing with him is you talk kind of the learning side of things. I mean, for all of his strengths, he's a very smart basketball player. Just on a coaching front, you walk out and you show something the first time, and his capacity to see the second and third layer on that, I think is super unique for a guy like him as a scorer.
When you look ahead to the Frontier Conference tournament now, these are all teams you're very familiar with. Would you say that's a good thing, an advantage, or are there ways where that could bite you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you get to a place where there's some complacency, and then also things that you have some maybe early success on people, they're naturally going to adjust. You know, and so beating a team 3 times is tough. Beating a team 4 times is even tougher, because generally the losing squad goes back and makes the adjustments, the winning squad doubles down. Again, talking style, we have a little bit more player-led style. So hopefully the style of basketball we play, minimizes that a little bit.
Carroll is the number 3 seed in this year's Frontier Tournament and will play bottom-ranked MSU Northern 7 p.m. Sunday night. Reporting in studio, Johnny Walker, MTN Sports.